Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tammy. Item J.2, 24-149, consideration and action to accept the resignation of Councilmember Tim Shiner, Westlake Town Council.
I'd move that we accept the resignation.
I move to accept the nomination. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, Tim and Crystal, thank you for your help for the town and school. Agenda item J.3, 24-095, consider an act to hire Dr. Kelly Ritchie as new head of school for Westlake Academy and approve the head of school employments contract and take appropriate action. Wade?
Mayor and Council, what you have before you at your dais is the contract. The contract has not changed since we first began scripting the contract with the help of Stan Lowry, our attorney. The only thing that has changed is her start date, and we moved. We talked to Ms. Ritchie, Dr. Ritchie, and she stated that she could not guarantee that she could be on campus full time until June 24th, but could work intermittently prior to. And we believe that it would solve a lot of issues for us if we went ahead and approved the contract with today's date on it and let her start on the 20th, and she would be paid a day rate on the days that she's on campus and able to work.
The actual start date is June 20th.
That's correct.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's May 20th. It's today, May 20th.
Oh, May 20th.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We're very excited to get Dr. Ritchie. J.4, Resolution 2428, consider approval of Resolution 24-28 to implement an enterprise resource planning software system and authorize the town manager to execute the contract. Casey.
Casey, if you don't mind, wait just 1 second. I think we're having a mic issue.
Well, then good. I'm glad only y'all heard that little bit. All right. So what is before you today is a proposal to change our enterprise resource software, or ERP system. This is the financial backbone of all the things that we do in the town. The ask itself is for up to $85,000, and I'll go through a cost breakdown here in a moment. We have a software that was put in place in 2004. So we have a 20-year-old software. The company itself started in Grapevine. It was bought in 2020 by another vendor that has stopped supporting it. We have no ability to make improvements, implement any other processes. We are kind of held hostage right now based on not so functional software and are well overdue for replacing it. We are asking that council approve the spending for us to procure Cassell software. They are based out of Utah. They have a robust ERP system that includes all of the necessary items that we currently have, plus a significant number of improvements as far as technology, efficiencies, reporting, and I'll talk through some of those benefits as we go through. The first thing to note is because this purchase is over $50,000, particularly for the new council, just an edification for your part, we are beholden to local government code section 252 whenever it comes to competitively bidding anything $50,000 or more. We did adhere to that statute. We put an RFP, or a request for proposal, advertised beginning in February. It was out for a couple of weeks. We received 5 responses from different vendors. Of those 5 vendors that did respond, we selected 4 of them to go forward with software demos with staff. Out of those 4, we narrowed it down to 2 finalists. We then engaged them for in-depth conversations as far as what they would offer for implementation processes and really kind of get an idea of what we can expect from their support going forward. And from that last 2, we selected Cassell. So whenever we're talking about benefits, I do want to make a comment that right now, a lot of the financial processes that we are doing are very disjointed. They are very manual, again, because we have a software that is 20 years old and has no room for improvements. Whenever we are asked to provide support to the board, to other departments in the form of reports or data, it can be very difficult having to look in 3 to 4 systems, marry up different approaches based on who was here and who wasn't, and then try to work backwards from what some of us consider best practices to what has just been in place for 20 years based on what they developed 20 years ago. It's taxing, to say the least. So specifically what we're wanting to do is replace the software and really make some huge strides as far as what we can offer service level in the finance department, starting with integrated processes with automated workflows, taking those disparate pieces and marrying them into one system, which is the point of an actual ERP, where you don't have just 1 or 2 items, but it's more of a robust system for resource planning. Another thing to consider that I think will be really beneficial for the town, really important for council to know, is the improved modern technology, specifically what our customers see. So as town residents, you all get a utility bill. We get comments quite frequently about the difficulty to use that system and how in a town that has 3 major financial corporate campuses, people moving here see that from the town of Westlake and they don't make that connection. So we would very much like to improve that end user experience. And then again, data management. This software has a lot of capabilities, particularly around water and sewer infrastructure. We can integrate our GIS system to it to improve work order functionality and make sure that we're more streamlined. Yes, sir?
Just a quick question. How does the price compare to the other systems that you looked at, and how does this compare to the existing system?
So the price point is significantly lower. We had the top bid come in at about $750,000.
Yeah.
Out of our price point, particularly for how small we were. Out of the 4 that we demoed, the average price was around $100,000.
Yeah. Okay, and then currently, what have we been paying?
We pay $20,000 a year for maintenance.
Okay,
and
this
no
will go
support.
to 46, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay, but worth the leap.
Absolutely.
School's on a different system,
Correct.
and there's no value in having both on the same system?
So there's some pretty fundamental differences between the 2 organizations, one being the different fiscal years.
Yeah.
Different chart of accounts. TEA mandates the academy's chart of accounts, whereas the municipality has much more freedom to configure our own. And then whenever you think about who the customers are,
Yeah.
the school side has the student side.
Okay.
So they're having to keep all of those permanent records for student records, whereas we have the utility billing side. So those are fundamentally very disparate offerings, and
Okay.
most softwares don't offer both.
Got it. I mean, look, I'm happy to proceed to vote. If you guys want to keep hearing more about the technicalities of the ERP,
I am happy to
by
do
all
so.
means. And I don't want to take it away from you.
All right, let's not.
I'm tired. And it's like,
One thing I just completely comment off subject, but as you mentioned, we're on different fiscal years, and one thing I would ask, these things that maybe should be synced up, or maybe there's a reason, but like as these things come across, right, part of our job is to make sure things are good for the future as well. So let's make sure we get that on the agenda if it makes life easier going forward.
I'd move that we approve the resolution 24-28.
Get a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And Casey, thank you to you and your team.
And I'll stay here later tonight if you want to finish your thing.
I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
sorry for cutting you off there.
I'm going to make him come with me. Okay. Item J.5, Resolution 24-34. Discuss, consider, and act regarding Resolution 24-34 to amend the 2024 Town Council and Board of Trustee calendar through September 30th, 2024. Mr. Carroll.
Mr. Mayor and council members, we put out a preliminary calendar just for you guys to start the discussion. After talking to several of the council members, it sounds like Tuesdays would be a hard day. It's a travel day for a lot of business folks, so we may not, Monday might not be or Tuesday might not be the right day for those that are still in the workforce. So we're happy to move off that day at council's discretion. What I'm really looking for in the calendar is a set meeting schedule that doesn't change much. That would be really nice. We need 2 meetings a month, and I know, Mr. Mayor, that your intention is to eventually get to a part where we could have a single meeting a month, one for the town and one for the academy.
I hope we can get there.
And I think we can get there at the start of the new fiscal year, but going through the budget season and into strategic development, those kind of things through this spring and summer, I highly suggest that we just leave it as is and we handle what school business we need to handle and town business at the same time, but that we do have at least 2 meetings a month. And generally, most towns take off the first half of July for the July 4th holiday, but we could certainly squeeze a second one in and move those dates around as needed. The biggest thing for us as a staff is to ensure that we don't have any back-to-back meetings where there's only a 1-week turnaround. It makes it very, very difficult for us to get the packet together in a timely manner and get it to council so that you have time to review the entire packet as requested. And you can come to me with questions. That's something that I would really like to ensure that we're doing going forward.
Absolutely.
So I have an opportunity to speak with each council member prior to the meeting, understand what questions you have through the packet. We can get those answers to you so that we're not standing in front of you at the dais saying, we'll have to get that for you later. We want to have those questions early. You can ask it for transparency purposes during the meeting, even if we give you the answer. And then you can certainly have that answer on the day of the meeting itself.
And Wade, look, I know this meeting went a little longer than I want. We had a lot to cover. I do want us to be efficient for our residents going forward. The reason for the Tuesday was to actually give the town staff more time to get the materials together and to meet with us, to get us ready for the meetings. But I will tell you, Dr. White travels. She was adamantly against it. I think some others. So, and I do want to make sure once this council votes and agrees on a meeting schedule, it will not be changed. It will not be changed for everybody.
Staff certainly understands that we have needs for special meetings on occasion. We just hope that the frequency decreases somewhat.
Understood. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 24-34?
Well, Mr. Mayor, if you approve that resolution,
I'm sorry,
the
that's
current calendar. What you need is to take any suggestions.
So we need to table this.
Table it or take suggestions on what day that you would like to meet, and we can adjust the calendar as suggested here in this meeting.
Move it to Monday.
Just do the same things, move it to Monday. First and third Mondays of the month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, I'd move that we.
I did want to point out that several other local entities, their councils meet once in November and once in December to accommodate the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, and so we would respectfully request that council also consider that.
I'm good with those changes to the first and third Mondays.
Okay, that's
And
perfect.
do we need to agree on a start time, or?
The start count time can vary, but if you guys want to have a standard start time, that would be helpful as well.
Let's make it as easy as possible. 4 o'clock?
Everybody's good with 4 o'clock start?
Yep.
Okay.
Speak for Dr. White, yes.
4 p.m. start, first and third Mondays, with the occasion of the month where we have a holiday present. And we would move that to a
And you'll
once a
get that
month.
out and send it out to all
That's
of us.
correct. We'll get it out to everybody.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we still have to make a motion for it?
Do we need a motion to do this, to approve the calendar, or do we want to bring that back?
I think we should.
Yeah, okay. Motion?
Get a motion to approve the calendar with the adjustments we made going to Monday starting at 4 o'clock?
Second. All right, motion.
Motion. Can I get a second? I was going to second. Could I get a second?
Yeah, I'm happy to say.
All, thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, council. We will now go to agenda item K, executive session. It's 6:52 p.m.